Welcome to the Caribbean Property Investing Podcast, where we share real-life experiences for successful Caribbean property entrepreneurs. Learn about their successes, challenges, and strategies to help you create your plan for financial freedom. Now let's get started.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more will now benefit from the extensive procurement network of the Unicomer Group, the parent company of Quartz and Quartz Business Solutions, among many other retail brands. We will provide clients with everything required to complete their establishment or business place, based on their unique specifications and needs. In addition to sourcing the world's most reputable brands, Quartz Business Solution will also ensure that clients receive the most competitive prices, warranties on all with products, and delivery in the shortest possible time. Financing options are also available for purchases. Quartz Business Solutions provides full end-to-end service, from sourcing to delivery and installation, maintenance and repair. We are ready to serve you. Let's partner with you to realize your dream. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Welcome to episode 37 of the Caribbean Property Investing Podcast. We thank you for your support. Lots of activity on social media. Check out our Instagram page. We now have TikTok as well as YouTube. For current projects, we have 2 projects, and maybe another one coming up pretty soon. So there's lots of stuff there to dig into. We want anybody, everybody, normal people to understand the challenges that you go through, as well as the opportunities available for blue collar, white, black, doesn't matter where you're from in the Caribbean. This is our space, this is our lives, this is our future, our opportunities. And our job in this podcast is to share those stories so you can learn, you can be inspired, and more importantly, understand what needs to happen for you to take action to improve the lives of yourselves and your family. So, thank you again. Check out all of our social media handles. We have some exciting news coming up soon. We have more projects breaking ground. Tell a friend, like us, subscribe, and just share the stories and let us know. Call us, email us if you want to come on the podcast, and we'll be happy to have you. Today, as always, we have a special guest, another special guest, but this one is a very, very interesting story. We're going to find out how you start with a humble background, humble beginnings, and work your way up. Very independent, a lot of new strategies that we have not touched on in property investing. So it's an exciting show. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you our next guest, Mr. Hervin Thomas. Hervin, welcome to the show.
Aaron, good night. Yeah, thank you for having me on your show. I've been following it for a while, and you have been doing good. You in a different, your episode 38 or 37. That's very, very good, and I'm happy to be here. And I hope we can discuss a lot in real estate and whatever businesses that I'm in.
Okay, awesome. We spoke about what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, long before the podcast, was created or was launched. You came to me and we were just talking, bouncing ideas off each other, and you showed me, some things that you were into and told me about your intentions. And I'm really, really proud to see your progress today. So congratulations. But let's start from the beginning. Tell us about yourselves. Before you started property, before you started with your current business, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, my background and my upbringing have been tough in terms of me personally. Never grown up with a mother or father, but grandmother. And I brought myself to school. I sent myself to school. In my entrepreneurship, I was selling paimie, and it came to a point that I didn't have money. I wasn't making enough money to send myself to school. So sometimes I would stay away from school for a week and, go and do a little construction, a labor work. That there are certain things that I've went through in my life, that has pushed me in a different direction to be in terms of education and everything, in terms of my CXs, trying to, overcome a lot of hurdles in teaching myself how to read and just coming up, and I had that vision and I have been telling myself, you know what, I want people that have, more than me in terms of the schooling to make money for me. And I wanted to put myself in that position, but it had a lot of praying and a lot of, pushing in terms of making things happen for me. Yeah.
So for our listeners who don't know what paimie is, why don't you tell them what paimie is and how did you learn how to make paimie? What's paimie?
Okay, paimie, paimie is something that you make with was it on oats? If a porridge substance, and then you can put raisins, you can put a lot of different things in it. You make it with coconut and some porridge. I can't remember the porridge name.
Cornmeal. Cornmeal.
Cornmeal, right? And then you wrap it. You burn the banana leaf, and then you wrap it in that. And I remember, man, every Sunday I used to go and sell paimie, and they had some people, and they would just put the curtain on the side and say every Sunday and just shut the door in my face, because every Sunday I go and sell paimie, because
how did that make you feel? And how did that make you feel? And why did you?
It made me feel bad. It made me feel away. But one of the things that really kept me is that I couldn't eat one paimie, because if I ate one paimie, that would have been problem. My skin would have burned me then. So I kept pushing and pushing every single day. So paimie is something that's I love paimie. Every junior quail, I always go out to get some paimie, and I can make it very good, but that's not something that I want to go enter now. Yeah.
Why did you choose making that I guess kind of cultural delicacy? Why did you choose that product specifically?
Well, it wasn't me. It was my grandmother pushing me into it. It wasn't something that I liked doing at all. It's my upbringing, and it wasn't something that, I didn't like it at all. But that was something that put bread on the table for me, and I was embarrassed about it. But no, God had a plan for me that I didn't know, and it taught me a lot of things. Just continually pushing in what I didn't want to do. And every Sunday, even if when we wake up, I wouldn't wait for her to tell me, you're not going for the coconuts and grate it. I would get up feeling away and feeling embarrassed that my friends will look at me, maybe I have a young girl I like to seeing me passing, saying, paimie in my little bucket, But that pushed me in a way that God has blessed me in a time like now, where it was just a plan in life for me, basically. Yeah.
So you did that to get you through high school and CXC. What happened after CXC?
CXC, when it came to a point of doing CXCs, I couldn't. I remember that time, and it wasn't a good feeling. That CXCs had everything come in, and I couldn't afford it. So to pay for the CXC, I couldn't afford it. And my grandmother used to help me one time, but she used to travel every 6 months to the States. But I didn't do my CXCs, and it was tough. I push a lot. I literally cry, because that's why I kept praying and telling God, just guide me. I want to make a difference. So it was very tough, but it's a journey, and I always think about it. I really, go ahead.
So not being able to do that, you left high school, and what was your next step after high school?
Okay, my next step, I met a partner of mine, and I started doing construction, working on roofs. Like I told you, I at first I mentioned it. I said I used to stay away from school uh, a week and then go to school a week. And I kept pushing a lot. I'm a praying guy. So after that, I kept praying for a job, literally just praying for a job every single day. And I'm someone I used to pray and fast. So I used to go in the woods in the mountains and stay 2 days, no water, no food, nothing, just pushing so I can be able to read better, so I can be able to speak better. Because in those days I couldn't even speak properly, I couldn't even write a sentence. So I kept, just driving. And I remember going to a particular job in a particular hotel, and I got a job to do stewarding. And that job was paying me, let's say, $550 a fortnight. And that would have been the most money that I would ever touch just in 2 weeks' time. And doing that, I remember, because I go to church and I kept praying that God bless me with something, but I don't work on a Saturday because I keep the Sabbath. And the white man tell me, he gave me the job, he walk around, tell me. So when I walked out, I remember that I prayed something, because I'm a man of principles, I'm disciplined. And I told him, I will work every other day for you. It can be holiday, it can be Sunday, anything that I can work over hours. You don't even have to pay me, but just I don't want to work on a Saturday. He told me basically, young man, it's better you take your little brother and walk away. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't say anything. I walked away. But in a couple of years after, when I went into business, that same hotel, I got a contract from them, and everything that they needed, they came to me to ask me.
So you felt that, was that the only time that happened to you, where you got a job, but because you had to work on the Sabbath or Saturday, you didn't take it? And do you think that was a disadvantage for you? How did you move on? What was your next move?
Like my next move was continue praying, as I did continue fasting. And Pest Control was a place I got another job, and that job was on the table because sorry if you hear noise outside, and my workers outside just came and dropped something. It came that I was working in family, and family pressure when you're not working. And as a young man, bills have to pay, a lot of things has to be, you eating, you have to get food. And I went to work at the guy, sorry, I'm just gathering it up right now, my apologies. The guy that I was living with, he got me a job because he was working Pest Control. Now, I took the job. I didn't want it because they were at me like 3 weeks in a row to take that job, and I didn't want to Pest Control. I didn't want to go and dig and do those kind of, because I had a little pride. And so I kept getting pressure and bills, and I just took the job. I come to a point while working at that job, they forgot me there because I was the lowest paid person. I think I was getting $800 for the month. And I kept reading about pests, reading my Bible, reading about the business of pests, and reading my Bible. So it was a back and forth. And I remember, and I said to myself, okay, God, I'm gonna position myself, because I never wanted to work for someone. And I said, let me make a move to go and do something for myself. And after some while, I left the job. I tried my best to leave the job. because I started first, the pest control I started with someone, but it was more on my side, me starting it up. And I remember there was a time that I wanted to, while working, I say, you know what, let me move on. I tried to leave the job. So I gave the boss my resignation letter. While I gave him my resignation letter, and I said, hey, sir, I have pushed so much. I have done so much with little pay. And one thing about me, when I was someone, when I working, I never worried about pay. I always worried about pushing my best, trying to deliver. It doesn't matter what it is. It came to a point that I was the assistant, and the guys that were above me was assisting me in all manners of work that I had to do. When I gave the boss my resignation letter, he put his hand on his head. He said, what's really going on? And I'm the assistant and I'm getting paid very, very low. He called his manager. He put $200 on my pay. I tell him, no, but I go in my residence and I respect you. You know, I really need to go. He called he destroyed my residence letter in front of me. He tear it up in pieces on the desk. He said, young man, there is nothing out there for you. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You're making a little money. You don't have much. Stay there. You will grow under me. I will make you something. I say, nah, I have to go. Now I was afraid because while I said that my family, my entire family, because I told him about it, what I was going to do, never had no faith in me, and everybody was like, "You stupid! You don't know how to do it." I had a lot of pressure. Friends of mine that tell me I was supposed to, support me, tell me, whatever you're doing there, why you leaving a job, and a good job I would call it, and you're not going, you know. So after that time, when the 2 weeks come, I came to him. I said, "So my 2 weeks is up." He said, "Me, no, you cannot go." He put a book together. He called his lawyer to try and force me to sign a book one time. With my the little smartness that I had in mind, I tell him I cannot sign up because I have no understanding of that. And up to it, and the lawyer told him, you cannot make me sign and everything like that. And he owes me, but it's okay, and I just move along. So that's basically how it was. Yeah.
What made you decide that it was time to leave? How do you know that it was time for you to go?
Boy. To tell you the truth, when you're in those type of position, there's a certain feeling that I had to move in terms of what me work at, well, what made me let me tell you, in those times I used to work so much for that business. I used to push so much and I enjoyed what I did. But that actually made my employee, my former boss change a lot of things, because I seem like I saw a lot of things that could have been done that wasn't being done. I saw a loop that needed to be filled. So I said to myself, okay, I'm seeing it, and I kept bringing it up. And I say, okay, I want to do it the right way. Let me move and let me block that loop. I wanted to give something different, and I saw they had a lot of things that wasn't being taken in the right way, and in terms of the way customers would be treated, and in terms of just a lot of valuable stuff that made me know, okay, now is the time to leave. And I was afraid. I was afraid because I wouldn't have anything. I was scared. But I determined that, hey, I am going to move. I'm going to make something happen.
I have two questions. For the benefit of our listeners, they will be asking, can you give, if you can recall, I know it was a long time ago, just one opportunity you saw that your former boss was not taking advantage of, that you thought that when you start your business, you would do differently? What was one thing that you thought you would have done differently that you did differently and you saw the opportunity?
Okay. Yeah, one of the things is what warranties, in terms of, I do a job for you, and after, if a week pass, it's back, you have to pay again. One of the things, and in terms of the way certain termites were being treated, the way that I started treating it and trying to implement it there, it was ignored a lot. And I saw a lot of problems in terms of a lot of different pests. And don't get me wrong, I am not going down on my former boss because he knows his work. He knows a lot. It's not him, I'm guessing it's the staff and the way that they do stuff. But I saw a lot of loopholes. That's one of the things, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you left this company, you started your own. About how long did actually I had a second question. Our listeners want to know because it's a conversation that we're having. And if it's too sensitive, we let it go. They might ask, okay, you with your grandmother, what happened to your parents? They might ask a question. I would like to know as well. So you were raised by your parents in St. Lucia, outside of St. Lucia?
Yeah, my parents were both in St. Lucia, and at a point in time I forgot who my mother was, because I ain't seen in a long time. Up to a day like today, I mean, I know her name, but I'm trying to build a relationship with her. But it's just kind of, I don't know why. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do with her, but I just can't. So she was never there on my growing up. My father, he was always, in front of my face, mentioning and telling people that I'm not his child, and keep pushing me away. Like I said, I was abused, always being, abused, meaning beaten, I have like 1,000 bruises. I have a mark in my eye, and I used to be kept without food for days. So I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. So I was basically the outcast.
So I'm going to move on to the next step. Okay. So you in the pest control, how long did you work for your former boss before you left and started on your own?
I think it was maybe 4 to 5 years, I think. Yeah. 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
Are you asking me how long I sit in the company? That's why. How long did I work for him?
Yeah, before you decided to make the move. How long did you work before you decided to make the move?
Like 5 years. I was working there 4 to 5 years, and then I started maybe like a year and a half after, something like that. Yeah. But how I started, sorry, I missed that. How I started, I didn't start while I was in the company. There was bat control, and I am very skillful at work at working on roofs and being in some high places and steep roof. Because I don't know if you know Kearney. I used to work at Kearney a long time. I came to your place already. That's a very, very long time. You might not even remember me. I was there with him. So that ability, just leaving and going and work with Kearney every single time. When they do the bat treatment, I would do the bat treatment, and the customer would want a roofer to block the holes, and the pest control would not do that part. So what I used to do, I used to take that void that the boss knew, I would take that part and then come on a Sunday, charge 150. Doesn't matter how big the job was, charge 150 and just start from there. And there are times that a bat will come through and bite the stuff that the customer would call the pest control company, but they wouldn't go back. But I would go back because I blocked the hole. So it ended up coming, I go in and fix something under that. So that's what really happened. I try my best not to go under them and take their work and I used to send work to them. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So fast forward, we met maybe 5 years ago. You had your firm, and you showed me a cottage that you wanted to do some changes. Tell us about your first real estate, first property project.
Well, you I think what it is, you came to my cottage. A cottage, like we know, is where I live, and I showed you well, on my property, a plan where I was wanted to do a 3-story building. That was supposed to be my first project. So because something came through, some blessing come through, and I got another property, and I have not continued with that plan as yet. So it hit to another property, which that property that I have by the road. It was some grown folks that liked my energy, and they gave me it was a good deal that I had to close. So I went.
Pause right there. Don't jump too far yet. The
Okay.
first property you bought, what made you purchase that lot where you had the cottage?
To be honest, while working, I didn't know. I actually forgot I had that property, because when I bought it, I bought it from someone I made a deal with someone for a pickup and a property, and that property. And I actually, while the deal was going through, I didn't get through with the pickup because something was wrong with the pickup. So I got the property, and I was renting, and I totally forgot that that property was there. But it ended up in the time. I'm a somewhat very funny person. While I was renting someplace, someone came and cut the grass on a Sunday, and I recognized that the people every single time when I'm in my reading will come on the Saturday and cut grass. I was living in a house, and I kept telling them no, and then I remember, oh, let me just go and do that. And I took some cash, and I just built this cottage, try to make it hotel-y, try and make it a little modern for myself. Yeah, so that's why I got it.
Okay, so the plan for that cottage was for you to live, correct?
There's just the cottage, but the cottage I was renting, and I just built something fast just for me to rest my head. But everything that I do now is more for investment. So I don't have a place. Well, it's my home now, but I don't have a actual place that I have a home, as it I say. I will wait till something else happen where I will have responsible to a wife, or then to start building. But all properties that I have now is just for investment. So I saw that one as an investment.
So tell us about the second property. After that cottage, your next property, you said was you met some elderly folks who they liked you and they gave you a deal. How did you know about the deal in the first place?
Okay, I was I know a lot of people that have retired, a lot of grown folks that give me a lot of advice, because I lean to a lot of people. If I have any problems, like you, I would call you if I have something that I don't know about, because I never raised up with a mother or father. So I take what I can, put me in a different level from people that have a lot more knowledge than I do. And I was buying a property in Rodney Bay, and someone was in front of me. And while pushing, trying to overthrow that person, a friend of mine called me and said, someone want to sell that property, and they wanted to come back. My first thing when I saw the property, I was like, that's probably expensive. So I met the owners, I worked with them. They liked my energy, they liked my ways, and someone else came with $100,000 more in cash for that same property.
But first of all, hang on. For the benefit of our listeners, describe the property. So it was on the main highway going up to the north, exactly up the main highway. But tell us about the size and maybe what was in the property.
What was what do you mean? It was a structure that was in a I would say a deplorable state, basically. And plus they had a billboard on that property. And while going to buy that, can I continue? Did I answer your question? Yeah? Yeah. So as I was saying, to get to that deal, someone was paying $100,000 more for that property. And because of the way that I was moving and just pushing every single time, those folks they really liked my energy, so they moved. They didn't take that extra $100,000 from that person. They went to me. They gave it to me. But the problem is, it was a lot of problem to get that property, because apparently someone in the bank wanted that same property as well. So, and it was a back and forth just to get that property. And I really wanted that property because of the location, and the price was very, very good. Because when I did the evaluation, the cost of that property was a lot. And because is a bank institution here, and it was someone there was giving me a lot of problems. Now, because I have been rejected from the bank, I think twice the bank rejected me. But while pushing forward myself, they called me for a loan. They kept calling me. They put me on radio station. They put me on the calendar, but they never gave me anything. So I made some calls to the head, and I say, y'all have me as a celebrity. Y'all have me on your calendar everywhere. You need to fix something, because I'm trying to get something going on, or I'm going to go somewhere else. Let me tell you, I get calls some Sunday from all managers who wanted to lose their job. I myself had to say, like, hey, I don't want nobody to lose their job, but I want that property, because the property is less than approved. I was buying a property, but somebody was deceased on it, and it's less than that property that I got it. So someone was holding back. So I had to make some calls. Sometimes, in life, you have to use your connections in the right time.
So roughly, without giving us the actual figure, roughly, when you compare the value of the property and what you got it for, would you say it was like 50%? Just roughly a percentage.
Yeah, a little more than 50%. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So 60%, you said it's a structure and a deployable condition. About what? 13,000 square feet of land? What? 11,000 square feet?
It was
10,000. And you also said that there was a billboard. Now, what made you decide to buy that property? Is it because of the price? What were the factors that led you to choose that property or to be interested in that property?
Okay, I always wanted a property by the road, but I kept telling myself that would be too hard, that would be expensive, that would be too hard, that would be expensive. So I pushed to get that property, and it was the problem. It was a big problem for getting that property, because I had to use a lot of heavy cash for that property, and I've never spoken about it before, never tell anyone about it. But that person in the bank was still blocking me. So it was a very stressful moment just to get that property, because I know the value of it, and a lot of business people wanted that property. And even right after I got it, I saw a big white Jeep just parked on the property, and he wanted to wire to my account a little more than what I got to that property the next day. And I tell him, no, it's okay. And to get that property, I had to pay everything in full, lawyers' fees, everything in full one time before everything moved. But I always wanted a property for my business as well, to get good, just, it was basically for my business. It wasn't, yeah.
What was some of the problems you had with the bank? Like, just give us an example. You said it was made difficult for you to try to block you. What were some of those problems? So for our listeners, like what kind of challenges would you have? Now, typically, you have a deposit. They might ask you. They might make some requirements for the term of the loan. They may give it to you at a shorter period of time than you want it for. It's processing. So it may have to go to credit committee for evaluation. That may also take a long time. So what were some of the problems that you had? You felt that
like I said, I had no problem. The cash was there. I had no problem. Everything was up to date, and I got a loan more than I was buying another property before that, and it was approved more than that. So there wasn't no issue. It had my financials, everything was paid. It was just someone that was there. I'm not going to mention names. There was someone holding back just to get that property. So because that property, someone wanted to buy it together with me, right? Someone that, while that problem was on it, someone came from that same institution and tried to come and get that property with me. And they had a position, a good position. But when it was time to go and take that loan, they couldn't afford it. So I had to do it alone. So I had no issue, no problems.
So now you have the property, you have to do some renovation work, and you have billboards. Did you, other than wanting a property bordering the highway, did you see value in the billboards in terms of your overall strategy there?
Yeah, I saw, like I said, I was new to real estate then. I wasn't focused on the billboard, but I knew it was making money because of what the people who were selling for me for, and what they liked my vibe, my persona so much that 3 months, as I told them I'm going to buy it, and within the 3 months, the property wasn't mine for 3 months. I just said I was going to buy it. They gave me the money that the billboard made for that 3 months without it being mine one time. So
that must be from all the praying and the blessing. So you have the lot, you have billboards, so you have 2 billboards actually. So you're getting money for 2 billboards, both sides. How do you then decide what was the best use of the building? So tell us about the plan for the building. What did you decide to do with the building?
Well, firstly, my plans was changed because I wanted to put the top as commercial. So I went to, because the bottom of the property was commercial and the top was residential. So I went to with a planning to change that into commercial. And while working, I know some people that into real estate, and they do very, very good into real estate. They came to me and say, I understand what you're doing. I see what you're doing, but don't go into commercial real estate right now because it would be a lot to, although I have apartments will be renting downstairs for real estate, but he told me enter into Airbnb where I can make the money that I spent on that building. Yeah. So it was a turn from a friend of mine that gave me some advice.
So you have 2 floors, upstairs and downstairs. You said initially you wanted to do commercial on top. Your friend comes in to do Airbnb. What do you do downstairs?
Downstairs I have my office, and I have now a rental company with printing, and also a shipping company that's coming to rent, and also another printing company. So 3 persons want to rent from me, and also my company will be renting from me. Yeah. Just trying to make some passive incomes.
Yeah, so downstairs you're going to have four rental units, 4 businesses, and upstairs. Right. How many Airbnb units do you have upstairs?
One is completed, and the other one will be completed in the next month. And also I did a plan where I will put another 4 to the back, and also a pool. Yeah.
What? So going through this is the first time you were doing a renovation, correct?
Yeah, I was stressful.
What would you say were the top 3 challenges? What are your top 3 challenges?
One of the challenges, boy, going to something that you don't know. Because I had the finance, I actually just jumped into it, and I didn't know that it would have been so expensive. And with everything that I did there, down to the roof, down to the electricals, plumbing, roadside, excavation, had water problem, the building was flooding downstairs. Every single thing that I did was in my pocket. So I never took a loan for nothing at all. There's certain times my accountant tried to stop me because most of those taxes was a lot on me because of those type of challenges that I had. And it had me stressed out that the first apartment I thought I would never finish it because it was breaking walls and building back walls, and breaking the walls is very expensive, and then I had to pay to build a wall again. So now I just thinking about it, it was a challenge. The roof, I worked on it as well. A good thing I have some little skills that I worked on it as well. Leverage is something that I like to use, but in that case, it was very, very expensive. And I kept working through COVID. People said that I was crazy. A lot of people call me and say me, what am I doing? You should stop. But a lot of money, when I saw it on paper that I spent in cash, and my accountant was speaking to me on, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. Yeah, if to do it again that way, I would say I would start a project and the foundation cash and then take a loan. Now I wouldn't spend all that cash. Yeah, it was a big challenge. Made me cry inside a lot. I wish that I met someone then. And for your listeners, if they're going down that road, I hope that your channel is a good channel that you can advise them to when going down that road to. I mean, loans, they are good loans and they are bad loans, but you can go to the bank and get some loans. Don't use all your cash because it's a lot.
Okay, so you gave some challenges, obviously financing, obviously having the expertise and understanding that the construction, the renovation process there's a lot that you discover as you go along the way. The one thing you say you do differently is use some of the cash, but take the rest in loan. What else would you advise our listeners watching you for the first time and hearing that, hearing what you said there? What else would you advise them? How to get started?
I would advise if you buying your first property to have an expert to inspect that property properly, and also the location and also the land, walk the property properly, because I had a lot of problems in terms of I had to pay 3 times for excavation in that property to make it how I wanted it to be. So get someone that have been in that. Even if you're taking a loan, even if you hire a contractor, have someone that you know personally that you can trust. I can give you some good advice moving forward, because I didn't have much of that advice, and if I had a good advice, maybe I would have been further.
Okay. So what's your next project going to be?
My next project is going to be, well, I already started at one of the Airbnb, the other apartments, and after I'll be building the pool, and after I'll be building the 4 units to the back, and after I'll head to that property that I'm on right now to build 7 apartments that I want to build. I will come to you for some advice, because I'm watching, I'm seeing what you're doing, and I want to see if I can go that route in terms of yeah. But I have my plans already that you've seen it. Yeah.
I have, but I cannot let you go before asking you, what's it like being a host of an Airbnb business? What's that like?
It's nice meeting new people. The money's coming in is coming nice, and the good thing is it comes in, and sometimes you don't really have to touch it. But just getting a new stream of income, it helped me a lot. And I listen, I want to do more so fast. My accountant is telling me sometimes slow down, but it's coming so good. And it also make me meet people where I was invited to a country, and I don't know. It's just it's nice. It's really really lovely. Yeah, I just don't want to because I went that route in terms of that Airbnb. It was kind of drawing me away from my company. So I hired a manager to better support my company, and that have been good because I was losing money while working. I was losing thousands of dollars while working, while my head is down doing something else. And I recognized the way that I was going wasn't good at all. I'm going somewhere, but yet still I'm leaking. It's like you have a pipe and it's just dripping water. So I hired someone I had to pay, and but and now everything is going smoothly. So now I'm in real estate, and if I have a meeting on my business, I will go and handle it. Anything that's heavy, I will handle it. But so I'm going right now.
So you're not delegated and you have a team around you to help support you.
Yeah, management.
Before we leave, my final question: what's the biggest learning and takeaway you had through this whole experience? Tell me about being a host for Airbnb. What's the biggest learning from that, other than the cash flow? What are some of the challenges that you have from the Airbnb host role that you have?
Okay. While listen, for just starting, and I only have like 4 people pass through my place. You need to know everything for yourself. Down to if you just start in a little room, you need to get a cleaner, learn how to clean, to put things in place properly. Know how to do a little maintenance, because I remember a guest called me late. There is no water, pipe burst, had to run, fix pipe. You need to be on the game, because if you're not, then boy, nobody wants a bad review. And there's a tenant, and he called me. The gas is leaking. I had a problem there, had to run, right? The 110 is not working. I had to call an electrician. You must have people that you can call, because you don't want to leave people there in the dark and say, okay, I will do that. Those people don't know you. Some of them may understand if you have a good, but they have time. People don't really care. They're paying you your money. And me just knowing, having connections is knowing certain people, and I am capable of doing certain things that I can go and do it. Fix a little pipe, do something. A brand new bed I bought was broken. I have to run, do something, because everybody wants, you have a product and you have to deliver. So yeah, just know everything for yourself.
Throughout this entire process, everything you've been through, would you do it all again?
I will do it all again. If I say I will go back and do something different, I will do it all again. And I'm just getting started. I'm just pushing. I have I have a friend of mine. He have a business. We normally go and sit down and just have a little talk, a little drink, and have a little talk. And there's a vision that I have. It's not put in place as well. And I said, like, what, I need to go that route, but I will always do everything again. From the faults that I have made in terms of losing a lot, I would still go, because now I know better. Now I'm in a better position. Now I can go anywhere, look at a property, and I have a lot of clients. So a lot of clients giving me jobs to do, and I don't want to go into construction, because I know a lot of construction people, and a lot of people want me to go, and when they come to my place, they want me to do work for them. I could probably be something else I can do to make money, but I don't know. So I will definitely do everything. Yeah, because the knowledge, what I know now, will push me further. Yeah.
We want everybody, normal people, to understand the challenges, that you go through, as well as the opportunities available for blue collar, white, black, doesn't matter where you're from in the Caribbean. This is our space. This is our lives, this is our future, our opportunities. And our job in this podcast is to share those stories so you can learn, you can be inspired, and more importantly, understand what needs to happen for you to take action to improve the lives of yourselves and your family. So, thank you again. Check out all of our social media handles. We have some exciting news coming up soon. We have more projects breaking ground. Tell a friend, like us, subscribe, and just share the stories and let us know. Call us, email us if you want to come on the podcast, and we'll be happy to have you. So until next time, remember what we always say: everybody needs somewhere to live.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more will now benefit from the extensive procurement network of the Unicomer Group, the parent company of Courts and Courts Business Solutions, among many other retail brands. We will provide clients with everything required to complete their establishment or business place, based on their unique specifications and needs. In addition to sourcing the world's most reputable brands, Courts Business Solution will also ensure that clients receive the most competitive prices, warranties on all with products, and delivery in the shortest possible time. Financing options are also available for purchases. Courts Business Solutions provides full end-to-end service, from sourcing to delivery and installation, maintenance and repair. We are ready to serve you. Let's partner with you to realize your dream. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Congratulations and thank you for tuning in to the Caribbean's first property investing podcast. We want to help Caribbean people create wealth and achieve financial freedom through property investing. Our show provides general advice based on personal experiences and is for educational purposes only. For more information, resources, and past episodes, visit us at CaribbeanPropertyInvesting.com. Remember to click the subscribe button so you never miss a show. Let's go.